Hope everyone's having a good day. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so I've had a stutter ever since I was little, all my life pretty much, and ever since I could speak. And it's it's always been something pretty close to my heart because when you're growing up with a stutter, uh, it's it's always really hard, and especially if you're racing cars and stuff, because you have to talk so much, you have to communicate. Have to talk with your team, have to do interviews and all that. So it was it was always tough growing up, and but I just kept pushing all my life because this is what I've always wanted, and you know, it, I'm really happy to be racing NASCAR now. It's been a lot of fun so far, and yeah, so it's a cool weekend for me. Racing for Bobby Dotter and in the '08 car and stuff, and we have a top 10 and a 16th place in our last two races. So just hoping to keep that going this weekend.
Hey, Mason, can you just talk about what a platform it is to have something like NASCAR to raise awareness, not just for, I mean, any cause, but certainly ones that are so important to you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for the question. I've been I've been talking with NASCAR just a little bit here recently, and I can't say enough about them giving me a platform to just kind of get the word out there because um, I've always known a lot of stutterers growing up because I've been to events, I've gone to speak to events with stutterers and stuff, and it's honestly something I'm really passionate about because I mean, as a stutterer, you can really understand someone else who stutters and you know what they're going through their whole life. And I just I would like there to be obviously more awareness and stuff and just to get the word out there a little bit. Um and I can't thank NASCAR enough for letting me have this platform and this opportunity. And for what they're doing this weekend, to recognize International Stuttering Day and everything like that. Um it's just something close to my heart. And I think all the people I know who have a stutter, I think they will actually really appreciate it because there's not a whole lot out there about stuttering, and it doesn't really get talked about much. And it's a hard thing to go through, especially as a kid. So I want to help anybody I can, and I want people to know that if they have a challenge they're going through, they have an issue they're going through, they can still chase their dreams. And I just want to get that word out there.
I also wanted to ask because you posted on Twitter or X how exciting it's going to be because of who's in the field this weekend with Dale Jr. and Ryan Newman. So it really is an exciting weekend for you.
It's a really exciting weekend. I've always been a big Dale Jr. fan. I got to race against him last year, and it was really cool. I got to talk to him, so that was awesome. And I'm a big Ryan Newman fan too. He's a legend. He's a legend of the sport for sure. And it'll be a cool opportunity to get to race with those guys. And I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully we can have something for them.
All right, our next question will go to Deb Williams. Go ahead, Deb, with your question for Mason.
Thank you, Amanda. Mason, thank you for joining us and talking about this. How did you work to overcome your stutter, and what advice would you give to someone who's dealing with this as to how they could work to overcome it?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me was to just stop caring what people thought. If you care what people think, and if you think they're judging you about your stutter, or think they're judging you about anything you have going on, it'll make you anxious, and honestly makes me stutter worse when I feel anxious. So I just kind of let that go, and I said, this is who I am. And obviously I've worked really hard to get my stutter better and better my whole life, but also I've accepted that God has given me this for a reason. And I feel like he's given me kind of a platform now that I can use to kind of put out some positivity out there in the world, because there's not a lot of that today. And I want to help anybody I can. And like I said, I actually do talk to a lot of stutterers, and everybody I've talked to so far, everyone's really excited about this. And, so I think it's just a positive thing that I can do, to help people. And if I can help one person, that's all that matters to me.
Well, I believe Mel Tillis, country music star Mel Tillis, stuttered when he talked, but when he sang, he didn't have the stutter. So you were talking about stuttering more when you're anxious. Have you found that maybe if you slow down, maybe talking or something, you get rid of the stutter?
It's yeah, there's definitely tools you can use. Really, there's not a lot of information out there about it, really. Like it's obviously a disconnect in the brain, from the brain to the mouth. And everybody stutters kind of differently. But I went to a pathologist for years, and he really helped me. And I mean, I've learned all these tools over the years, but the biggest thing I've learned, like I said, is to be me. And if I stutter in front of people, that's okay. And as I was growing up as a little kid, it would eat me up inside if I stuttered in front of anybody, and made me anxious and get me out of whack. And I'd say the biggest thing that has really helped me is to just openly stutter. And if I stutter in front of people, that's okay. I mean, everybody has their things they have to work on, and this just happens to be one of mine.
Thank you, Mason. Proud of you.
All right, we'll go to our next question to Dustin Long. Go ahead, Dustin.
Thank you. Hey, Mason, as you talk about this, obviously with your past, you've had a lot of success. You've won a lot of races. You won championships, and certainly one of the things with winning races are doing those interviews in front of the fans. Again, look, for anybody young, that can be kind of difficult as it is because people aren't used to public speaking. I'm curious, when you talk about the anxiousness, was there ever like, oh, I want to win because I want to get the checkered flag, but I don't want to win because I don't want to do the interview, or just always nervous about that because that's always kind of part of the local short track? And I'm sure you had to work through that because of all the things that you've won in your past.
Funny you asked that, because I have had one of those moments in a legend car one time. I was like 11 or 12, I think. And I was in the lead of a race. I was new to legends too. And I'm like, man, if I win this race, I have to do an interview on the front stretch. I got to do all this other stuff. And I ended up finishing second. I let the guy go. And as I look back on that, I hate that even happened. But that was a moment for me where I'm like, okay, I'm not ever going to do that again. I'm not going to let this cost me a victory. And I went out the next week and I won. And I mean, as I figured, the interview was fine afterwards. It went great. And as a kid, yeah, even if you don't have a stutter, it kind of makes you nervous doing interviews. It's just something I had to work through and something I had to work on. And as I've gotten older, it's become a lot easier. And like I said, if I stutter, it's fine. And but as a kid with a stutter, I mean, it's a little hard to make friends, and you might have some weird looks every now and then when you stutter, and it just kind of eats at you a little bit more than it does if you're my age, So yeah, that was a moment for me where I'm like, I'm not going to let this hold me back from winning. And as I went on in my career, I just said to myself, I've been doing this my whole life. This is my goal, my dream, ever since I was 5 years old. And if I let this stutter hold me back, I'll look back on this and I will hate that. I'll definitely regret that. And it's just something I've really had to come to terms with. And I know God gave it to me for whatever his reason was. And I feel like if I didn't have it, I don't think I'd be where I'm at today, because it really motivated me to work hard and to get better on the racetrack. And, I'm actually kind of thankful for it at this point.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.